Hey, my name is James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I want to talk about the shocking poll, the amount of people that want rent controls forced onto landlords. In this video, I'm going to talk about how many people are looking as a percentage to get rent controls put on landlords. How many people think rents are too high? Obviously, that's very, very high. And also, how many people want forced compulsory sales put onto landlord properties and land. In this video, it's going to be an eye-opener and it's going to give us some real insights on what expectations the general public have on the private rental sector. Now, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do make sure you subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We're on the way to 42,000 subscribers and I'd like to thank everyone that subscribes. It really means a lot. Let's get some more views on this video so people are aware of what's going on. How do we do that? Simple. Smash like, tickle like, do something to the like button. That massively helps with the YouTube algorithm and help the channel grow to where it is today. So thanks to everyone that does that. So, look, it's not going to be a surprise to anyone that watches this channel that the general public aren't happy with the private rental sector. And that makes sense. Rents have been going up at an alarming rate. We've done plenty of content here. Over the last year or so, rents have gone up at 10%. But what a lot of people miss is that a lot of that has happened due to a mass exodus of landlords. Landlords have had a lot on their plates. They've had increases in monthly mortgage payments due to the interest rates going up. For some people, payments tripled. You've got tax implications with Section 24. You've got a lot of people wanting to leave because of the Renters' Rights Bill and the looming EPC target as well. Meaning a lot of landlords just didn't make any money and they left the market. And that is fundamentally why rents went up. Look, if there was a lot of landlords in a market and there was not so many tenants, prices would come down, and that invariably is something that can happen in some areas. So the Scottish Green Party have done a survey and they've looked at thousands of people and asked them what do they think about the rental market at the moment. Now, this is important because things that happen in Scotland and happen in Wales often happen in England as well. And so rent control has been talked about in England for a while. Many parties believe that that's something to consider and they know that it could be a vote getter. So it is important to understand what is going on everywhere. So let's have a look at what's going on here. So this is the Scottish Green Party and they have done a survey and 74% of people want rent control. Now, Scotland had rent control a few years ago during the pandemic, and it didn't work out very well for a lot of people there. What it did was made more landlords quit, and between tenancies, rents went up significantly. So you couldn't really put a huge increase on rents when you had a tenant, but if that tenant left, then that was a problem. A lot of tenants got forced out. And also, prior to this coming in, a lot of people that had cheap rents with a decent landlord that were happy suddenly saw huge increases before the deadline. And the outcome was that rents in Scotland went up around 25%. So much so, it wasn't seen as a great thing at the time by a lot of people, and it was removed. But they're talking about bringing it back in Scotland again, even a few short years later, when they've already tried it and it hasn't worked. Now, other countries have also tried rent controls. New York has tried it, rents went up significantly there. Dublin tried it, rents went up significantly there as well. So this isn't a new thing. This is something that has been tried in various places, and it just doesn't normally work. A few things happen. Landlords quit, or prior to this being implemented, rents go up really, really fast, or between tenancies when people leave, rents tend to go up as well. So a lot of people still want that because rents are seen as really, really high in Scotland. The same is the same in England as well. So I guarantee you, if you did this survey in England, the results would be very, very similar. So 83% of people think that rents are high. And that's going to be the same in any country. It's going to be the same pretty much in England. It's going to be the same in Wales. A lot of people are going to have that belief and perception. And that's true. Rents are high. In fact, in the inflation data that we see, I think that rent should have more priorities because rent is such a big part of people's monthly outgoings, and it really has gone up at record levels. And some of that is down to the government taxing landlords more. Some of that is pushing landlords out, so there's less property available. And some of it is because of interest rates. So you're keeping interest rates high at the moment to bring down inflation, but actually a result of that is that rents have increased. And so that isn't helping people at all, really. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Now, here's another interesting part of this. So 69% of those surveyed feel that there should be some forced sales on landlords that are holding properties and not using them to rent out. So either they're derelict or they're just not using them. And so the perception is that if we sold those properties, they could be sold to someone that could either live in it, totally agree with that, that makes sense, or they could be sold to someone that could be a landlord that would rent that property out. And that would mean there's more options available, and that would help their rental market for sure. Now, they also want to cover this for land as well. So there are people that just buy banks of land, wait for planning permission, and the goal is when the time is right, when the rates are low and the market is really hot, that they'll build properties on that. And if the market is slow, like it is right now, they'll just sit on that land and nothing will happen. So that's what people want as well, is a forced sale of these types of land in order to get properties built on them and reduce the supply. Now, what I feel is that maybe, I just think that these rent controls don't work. I have seen those. Yes, I'm a landlord, so of course I'm biased in that. But I have seen this stuff and studied this stuff. You can look at what happened in New York, you can look at what happened in Dublin, and you could also look what happened in this very same place where this survey was, in Scotland. There were so many landlords that left the market that what happened was some people were going to viewings and 200 people were viewing the same property because the amount of rental properties shrunk so much that even if you could afford a property, even if there were rent controls on it and it wasn't expensive, it was super hard to get a property because so many people were trying to look at that same property, and that doesn't work for anyone. And some of you commented on the channel and on all the videos that we talked about that and said you are a landlord in Scotland and you had similar scenarios, or you were a tenant in Scotland and you saw similar things happen, especially in the big cities like Edinburgh. So what do you think? Clearly a lot of people feel rent controls are a good thing. What's your perspective on it? I'd love to know in the comments what you think. Do smash like, do subscribe, do share this video. And also make sure you check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.